Welcome everybody to Todd Sylvester Inspires BeliefCast episode 2. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm here with an amazing person that you'll get to learn about here in just a minute. Again, I'm doing these BeliefCasts. I call it BeliefCast because I'm passionate about belief systems. It's part of what I do with my clients is help them overcome these belief systems that hold them back in their life. And Joey's no exception. I met with Joey. I've known Joey for years and years and years, and he's a remarkable individual who has overcome some of his own limiting belief systems that has held him back in his early life, and we're going to talk about that and how he's overcome those things. But excited to have you on here. Thanks for following. Thanks for your support, and hope you enjoy this. I think you're going to really enjoy this Joey kid. I hope you guys follow him from this point forward.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, welcome, man. Thanks for coming.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this is early. We're up early. Most kids are still in bed, but this kid's up.
Yes.
This kid's up and getting after it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right on, dude. So thanks for being on the show. I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, you've been a good friend, and more than that, you've been an amazing example. Not just to me, but everyone I know who knows you, they think the world of you. So that's why I brought him on, because this kid's amazing. So anyway, so Joey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Joey, like he's said. I am still in middle school, although I might look a little bit older than that. I attend Eastmont. I'm in the 8th grade, and I am in a family of 9, and I'm one of the youngest. So that's just a little bit about me, but yeah.
How's that been with all those kids?
It's pretty okay. I mean, I have my own room, so.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Is it hard to get food on the table because there's so many people there? And
well, kind of. There's people in and out everywhere, especially now. Yeah. We have so many teenagers that they're always gone most of the time. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you're what, kind of like the middle of the pack?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, I have youngers and olders, so yeah.
Right on. So what school do you go to?
Eastmont Middle School. It's just right down there, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can't see it on the screen, but it's just right down there.
Yeah, it's just right over there.
Right on. So you're in 8th grade. Do you like Eastmont?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's a great school.
Now, you just got an award there. What was it?
Oh, I was awarded like a Patriot of the Month. It's like a student achievement award for like the best students of the month. Like you have high grades, and then the principal like recognized you at an assembly or something.
I don't know. How was that?
That was awesome.
That's
pretty
cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I was hoping that I would get a chance to do that from like 6th grade. So
yeah, don't they choose just one per month per grade? Is that how they do it?
Yeah, it's one boy and girl per month per grade.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's quite the. How many kids are at that school?
I don't know. I want to say like 700 maybe or 500.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's cool. So do you enjoy school?
I do. Yeah. It's awesome. Most of the time.
Yeah. What's your favorite subject?
I like learning about history, just personally, because mistakes that were made, you don't make them again, because you know past history, and I love learning about history. So that's my favorite.
Oh, cool. That's interesting. Right on. So tell us what Joey does in a day. Go through your day.
Okay.
What does Joey do?
All right. Well, I spend a lot of time at school, obviously, but I'm also huge into writing. So I also like to write my book a lot, and
what are you writing?
I'm just kind of writing, like, I have a ton of stuff. A lot of them are just like talks to myself, and then there's like some actual books and stuff like that. And also, aside from writing, I'm really big into music. Whether it's listening to music or playing on the piano, I can play a lot of instruments, so I really love music.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like?
I'm kind of all-around person. I like a lot of different stuff. I don't love the newer stuff all the time, but I do like a lot of the old stuff. Some new. Kind of into a lot of the classic rock, just like my older brothers before me.
Yeah.
They kind of taught me the right ways, I guess.
It's the right way. Classic rock, right? Yeah, I know your dad's big into music.
Yeah, he is too. I'm actually kind of grateful. Everyone older than me in my family's all been a huge part of influencing my music choices. So, yeah.
So you play the piano and a few other. What other do you play? Other instruments?
Yeah,
or just piano?
I'm in the concert band at Eastmont, so I play the trumpet there, which I think is kind of cool. And I know how to play the guitar. Also, I took a guitar class in school. And then I could probably teach myself the drums if I really wanted to, and other stuff like that.
Right on. Yeah, well, that's cool. That's quite the talent.
Mm-hmm.
I have none of that. So, what do you do for fun? What's some of your hobbies that you like to do?
I really like to run. I got into running in September. I started running for like 35 minutes a night.
Nice.
And then I like stopped for a little bit on the holiday, but I just loved starting back up. So
Nice.
yeah, running is really, really big. I like that.
Very cool. That's really cool. So, I wanted to ask you before we get into some of the meat of what we came for today is that who are some people that you admire in your life and why?
I admire a lot of family because they
Yeah.
influence a ton of my choices. Older brothers and such have been huge help to me, and hopefully
Sure.
I've been a huge help to them. Even having little brothers is nice.
Right.
Especially my parents and also you because
Oh,
because
I
of your
paid him to say
self-talk.
that.
Yeah.
So thank you.
No, I didn't. But I do think that what you do is amazing, and that you help so many people that it's kind of hard not to look up to you. So
Well, thank you. That's not what I'm looking for, but thank you. Is there anyone? And I know your family. They're amazing people. Is there anyone outside your family that maybe is there a figure in this world that you kind of look up to, that you kind of follow, or is anyone that like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of really close friends. If you're watching this, hello. But I have a lot of great friends that are really helpful to me, and they'll get me through the hardest of times. So really, there's all of them. So I'm not going to name any of them, but they're there, and
Cool.
I've been talking to a lot of them recently, and that's just kind of a way of connecting.
Right
And
on.
it's really awesome to have them there.
Cool.
I also really look up to my outside family too, like grandparents and cousins and stuff.
Yeah. You got a great family, and that's awesome. Well, I want to ask you. So when I first met you, obviously, when I say met you, meaning as a kind of as a client, and we were working on some things, and you were struggling with a few things. Mm-hmm. Is that okay if we talk about that?
Yeah, go for it.
You were struggling with a few things, and I was just so impressed on how you overcame them so quickly. I know you still have your struggles, just like we all do, but I think overall you seem to be doing really well, right? And we've checked in from time to time as well. But do you mind talking a little bit about what some of those struggles were? And
yeah, sure. So I guess right then it had been positive self-talk, kind of, I guess, or I wasn't thinking positively about myself and my surroundings. So everything was just kind of, I thought it negative.
I remember you were struggling. You thought you didn't have any friends.
Yeah, right.
And you were saying negative things about yourself.
Yeah, so I was able to. So that was kind of the problem back then, which a lot of people still have problems now. I still have problems with that also, but I think really the big part there is the self-talk, because what you think of yourself makes everything else really apparent, because the way you think of yourself can change everything.
Absolutely, because thought creates the emotion.
Yeah.
And what you were doing back then, this was a few years ago, by the way. Yeah. He was thinking really negative thoughts about himself.
Yeah.
And so we started meeting, and I kind of just pointed it out. I just helped him with his awareness around it. And he did the work. And maybe describe some of the things that you did to kind of go from negative thinking to positive thinking.
Okay, so you did give me a couple worksheets to work on. And I know I had a positive self-talk from you, where I'd say something kind of like that. You had written something. And I used to go over that every day. Then I used to remind myself that maybe I was just doing that for other things. And then I would look for people that do care about me, and then I knew that were there. And that kind of helped me overcome it, because like they're there. Sometimes you just don't realize it until you're really looking. But I do think that big part in what I was meeting with you was the positive self-talk and just the challenges, because those help me with the rest of the things that are going on too.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. Well, yeah, I remember an experience that you did that just amazed me. This was one of the coolest things I had ever heard about. And you had written a letter to a neighbor, right? Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
It was a woman, right? And you just randomly picked this
Yeah.
woman and you wrote her this letter. Do you remember what you told this woman in the letter?
I just, she had been like a teacher of sorts, and I just really felt like she needed something. I felt like something was a little off, and so I wrote a letter just saying how much I liked her as a teacher, and she was awesome, and then I don't know what it was, but something was kind of crazy, and maybe she just needed a little breather from that, but I remember it was really just the time that I delivered the letter. It was just at the right place, right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact this woman was blown away because you did it anonymously. She didn't know it was you, right?
No, she didn't.
So think about that, man. This kid here writes this neighbor woman a letter because he had this impression or this intuition that this woman was struggling. And he writes her this letter to tell her how great she was. And I know for a fact because this woman shared in front of a large group something that she was touched by, and she said, I got this random letter, and she's crying as she's telling this, and she goes, it was the exact moment I needed it. She goes, I was really struggling, and I opened up this letter, and she said, it made my day, week, month, and year. And and I remember, leaning back to your dad and going, was that Joey's letter? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away. And I remember when we were talking, you and I, we talked about this principle that if you want to be, go give it away.
Right. Yeah.
That's the principle. So if you want to be happy, go give away happiness to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we talked about ways you could go do that. I had no idea what he was going to go do. But we talked about, you could do a letter to someone.
Yeah.
And he was it fifth grade?
Yeah, it was
fifth grader. Fifth grader. So I just gave him a little, some direction, but I didn't know if he was, one, going to do it, and two, how he was going to do it. And so when I heard this woman speaking, I was just blown away because she was so touched, and it had made, who knows? We really don't know. Maybe you saved her life. Seriously, sometimes words are powerful, and when we do something out of the ordinary, I guess, is where we write a letter or we call someone up and tell them how much we appreciate them. That was Joey giving it away. And then what Joey got in return was happiness himself.
Right, yeah.
It was the coolest thing. Yeah, I was so impressed.
But
this is who Joey is, and this is why I wanted him on here. That's one of so many things. He just wrote one of my daughters who's not here right now, like a 7-page letter. And she was just like, she told me, it sounds like you write letters all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's my favorite way.
Power of a letter, man. But he, again, wrote my daughter this letter, and she responded back to us, to my family and myself, how touched she was. And she's just like, wow. And not just that she got a letter from you, that in itself was amazing to her. Because kids your age don't do that.
Yeah.
Kids, come on. Follow this dude, man. It's amazing. But what was said in the letter, like she said, you inspired her.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the letter yet. I will soon. But just that's the kind of guy you are.
Yeah,
it's impressive, man.
Yeah, that was fun. I remember writing that. I was like,
yeah.
So
I'm gonna just challenge you to keep doing that.
Right. Yeah.
If you see a friend struggling at school, write him a letter.
All right.
You have a teacher you think who's working hard and underappreciated, write him or her a letter.
All right.
And I know you do that anyways of the kindness of your heart, but I love that because make that a part of who you are from now and forever. It's one of the things I've tried to incorporate in my life is giving it away, and one of the best ways is writing someone a letter.
Right.
There's something about getting a letter in the mail,
Mm-hmm.
from someone. It's got a letter from Joey. Holy crap! What's this going to be about? And it really does make someone's day.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It is.
You're cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. So I want to kind of start now talking a little bit about belief systems. Again, that's kind of the focus of this podcast, because really belief dictates our behavior. And Joey, when I started working with him, and this was back in 5th grade, right? He was struggling with some beliefs that he thought he had a belief that no one liked him. He had a belief that maybe he didn't look as good as the other kids at times, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And so those two beliefs as a fifth grader, those are heavy. I mean, those are heavy things, meaning those are hard to deal with. And so you walked around telling yourself or reinforcing the beliefs with this negative thinking, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I really just think that this happens to a lot of kids when they really go through that. And sometimes it's maybe just for attention, or maybe they are really feeling something. But I feel like it is hard, especially when you're that young, because you don't really know how to deal with it. Right. Because you don't really, I don't know, when you're younger, I guess talking to adults is kind of scary. So, and maybe you don't have good enough friends at the time to go talk to them about it, or maybe they wouldn't understand. Right. So I think that's really hard, especially on a fifth grader, to be in that situation. But.
Yeah, right on. So, and I know you're doing really well with those and changing and flipping those beliefs. What are some of the beliefs now that you have that are actually empowering?
Oh, well, definitely, I think empowering, positive self-talk. If you're able to convince yourself that you're more than that, if you're able to get out of that situation, beat the thoughts that you have, then really you can overcome a lot. And I think one of the biggest things here is life is just full of second chances, and that's probably my favorite thing about it, because really any mistake you can just overcome by a second chance, and that's what I really love about it, because those when they come around, they're pretty nice.
Yeah. Is there anything wrong with you?
No.
See, did you hear that? There's the truth. So I'm assuming, and we haven't talked for a minute, but I'm assuming that you have a belief now that that you do have a lot of friends, and that you do matter.
Yeah.
And that you are enough.
For sure. Yeah.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
And can you see how that leads to you walking around feeling good?
Yeah,
as
definitely.
Opposed to negative, right? Because again, if we believe those things, which I believe, and just seeing him from a distance and hearing people talk about Joey, I know that he really does believe that he matters and that he's enough. Because, it's funny because, like, even your older brother, Josh, who's over here a lot, he talks about you, thinks the world of you, and, he'll say some of the things that you've done or are doing, like, just, like, good things, like letters and things like that, and we'll say, God, where did this kid come from? And Josh is like, I know, man, I need to be more like my brother, So, it's impressive, dude, you're impressive, and I'm honored to know you, and this podcast today is, I really want this to be geared towards kids your age, high school kids, because this is kind of like the battleground for people where they're going through a lot. They're trying to figure out life. They're trying to figure out who they are, and I think on a lot of ways you've already figured out who you are.
Yeah, in a lot of ways I have.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with you, right?
No.
I mean, that in itself. See, most kids, I guarantee you, most kids walk around thinking something's wrong with them.
Right. Yeah.
Right? I did. And at a time you were doing it.
Yeah.
But look at you now. I mean, you're still so young, 8th grader. And this kid's walking around going, there's nothing wrong with me. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. Okay, well, cool. So I want you, I asked you before this to come up with a challenge.
Right, yeah.
For our listeners. Just not only our listeners, and obviously you're going to have a lot of friends who are your age, and then even adults that are listening to this, but I asked you to come up with a challenge for them, and I'm going to turn the time over to you, and why don't you share with us what you have come up with?
So the reason I came up with this was actually kind of something that I got from Todd, but this really helped me overcome situations, and I'm sure it'll help you too. And like I've said throughout this, it's positive self-talk. So my challenge, I guess, is for a week, or if you want to do it more than a week, write 3 things positive about yourself, whether it be something, I just want you to write 3 things about yourself that you love, and to just keep yourself uplifted. If you know the kind of person you are, just 3 positive things every day for a week, and you should, especially if you repeat them back to yourself, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you say it, hopefully it helps, because once you really realize that you know who you are, and you love who you are, then you can move on out of that.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I really love that, because I know that where our attention goes, energy flows. So if
Right.
our attention's on these positive things we're writing down, that's where our energy is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I think I've done something similar in the past, and I'm going to take your challenge as well, honestly. And I think it helps us be more grateful too. Don't you
Right.
think?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You definitely realize your situation, realize that you might be taken for granted.
Yeah, I think one of the most powerful stimulants on this planet is gratitude.
Right. Yeah.
I heard I think it was Les Brown, said that gratitude is our tithing to the universe.
That's pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
Right? So yeah, there's your challenge, listeners. There it is. Joey White dropping the heat here. So I challenge you to take it. Do those things, write 3 things starting today, and go an entire week. And like you said, if you want to go longer, I'm telling you, get to know Joey. He's going to post this on his social media. Share this with your friends, your family, anyone who needs to hear this inspiring young man, and get to know him. And I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for being on.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're seriously an inspiration to me and my entire family. And I know you're going to do great things in life. And continue doing what you're doing. Give it away. Keep giving it away, and you will get it back tenfold every single time.
All right.
All right, dude?
Sounds
You're
good.
the best, man.
All right.
Okay. Peace.